Mail time, mail time, mail time. I already know this is actually mail. See, Fernando, let's see what this is all about. See, Fernando, we have a letter from, once again, Princess Peach, and I'm pretty sure enough we can still manage to able to get ourselves 5 extra lives. See, Fernando, because I'm presuming we've actually pretty much done with the forms of, letter for Luigi trilogy. See, Fernando, that makes it a little bit obvious, so... Hey, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? I am Piglet here once again, and I'm back for some more yet again for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my Let's Play of Super Mario Galaxy for the Nintendo Wii. So, last time we actually did manage to get things started with the bedroom, and able to actually get the majority of those power stars in the forms of, well, let's just say in the forms of, you know, in the Ghostly Garden, and also we did manage to collect some of these power stars as well on the Freeze Flame Galaxy, and especially noticeable by the forms of, trying to able to actually rescue Luigi for the 3rd time, so naturally we're pretty much done with it there. So, yeah, today for this episode is the fact that we are still going to go back into the forms of the bedroom dome and able to collect as many of those power stars as I wanted to. See, Fernando, let's head back to the forms of Freeze Flame Galaxy to do the Prankster Comet mission, which is, of course, Frosty Comet. Oh, I really can't speak today for this point, folks. I do apologize. The Frosty Cosmic Mario Race. See, Fernando, it's been about quite a few stages ago, at least ever since back in the Terrace, ever since the new forms of the Honey Hive Kingdom. See, but then, I believe this time around though, Mario's actually looking away for himself right there. Oh, jeez. I think this is mainly due to how the fact that, if you manage to grab those, star bits or what have you, I think that usually happens sometimes. So, here we go, let's get this thing to it, and once again, I managed to get myself a excellent start boosting right there. So naturally that you have to time it properly, so just in case you weren't able to actually get yourselves your speed going. So, yeah, a little bit more of a compliment, I have to say so, for this match. Easily without doubt, to me though, this is probably the most difficult ones when it comes to Cosmic Mario challenges, because, well, right from the bat though, is the fact that we're going to be spending most of our time trying to do some ice skating, what have you, but if you messed up at least 1 or 2 times or whatever, well, you have to go all the way back to the beginning of the actual obstacle course. See, Fernando, that, you know, you can expect at this point. See, then, since we've actually accomplished that, then we shall able to move on. See, Fernando, that's it for the Frosty Cosmic Mario Race. So, we've actually reached over 3,000 star bits so far, which is not bad, but even then, we'll still manage to collect most of it anyway until the next couple of missions up ahead. See, Fernando, back to Freeze Flame Galaxy we go. See, Fernando, that way we can do the 3rd mission, see, for the, or actually the 4th mission, kind of think about it, Freeze Flame's Blistering Core. Just kind of think about it though, because we're gonna be jumping into the 4th mission, because we've already done 3 missions so far. So generally, if you have a first time playing the game, you do realize how the fact that if you manage to reach to an even number of the amount of power stars you'll be having, chances are you might actually bump into the forms of the Prankster Comet instead. So, it can be a little bit odd at times, even with the forms of the Prankster Comet was appeared from the start, which I believe it might be the same thing for how it does in one of those stages coming up, but even then, I'm not going to mention about that just yet. See, Fernando, from the start for this particular mission anyway, is the fact that much like in the forms of how it does it from the 1st mission in this particular galaxy, is that we need to able to actually just to get onto this little ring ice rig, except the noticeable difference is that rather than catching a penguin, instead we need to able to collect those 5 star chips, so naturally we can able to reveal a launch star just right over there. See, Fernando, you can either use the pole stars, or my personal favorite, that you can able to actually skate along and just make your leaps of faith from here. So, again, that's the thing I loved about performing some shortcuts and what have you, but I'm not going to use all of the shortcuts most of the time, because sometimes though, that can be very impossible to able to do this. So, yeah, here we are in the forms of the actual fiery location around here. See, Fernando, as to be expected at this point, is that we need to dodge a lot of lava / magma. So, even then though, we need to avoid that at all times. And here, this is where we get ourselves the Fire Flower, which we've already showed that off in the forms of the secret mission in this particular place. So naturally, you can able to actually expect it for this much. See, Fernando, what's up with that camera angle right there? Anyways, though, there's actually a possibilities of the shortcuts on this particular level itself, which I'm also able to try my best to able to actually show you guys about this, even though it might be a little bit of a waste of opportunity until we're able to actually achieve it that. But even then, I'll try my best if I was trying to able to go for this kind of stuff, because it's been about a long time coming since I actually did manage to done all these kinds of stuff, and in fact it's actually a pretty terrible start so far. So let me try that again if I manage to able to try to achieve that. Unless there is actually some start bits you can able to grab it from here. But either way though, that I might as well able to actually just, as you can see, that I keep on like getting several mistakes around here just because of how the fact that, well, it's really damn hard to able to perform certain shortcuts sometimes, because you really can't guarantee you can able to make your way there, especially how the fact that the weird thing is that the camera sometimes shift over, which even I know that might be a little bit obvious. So I'm just gonna go screw it, and then just trying to able to come back for that later if I manage to try my best if I was trying to do that. I do apologize by the forms of my lack of skills at this point today, just because, well, there's not much else you could really say about this point today, other than originally that Duffy was supposed to come back into the forms of, you know, Yoshi's Woolly World, but I've decided able to actually just to continuously go for this game instead, just because, the thing is though, is the fact that, since that Duffy is going to be looking up on guides and everything like that when it comes to Yoshi's Woolly World itself, and stupid urchins, oh jeez, all these case, these little pokey, spiky, urchins right there. Actually, no matter what though, normally you can able to actually light up those, 2 lanterns right there, but, ultimately though, that if you really want to up for a challenge, as you probably, expected at this point, well, you can also perform a speedrun tactics, which you might take a shortcut, which again, it's really impossible because sometimes the cameras sometimes go all over the place, so I'm just gonna kill myself, so. And plus that did literally wasted my, I would say that did waste it for about 3 minutes of the forms of that specific shortcut error, but even then I do apologize by the forms of that dragged on length of it, so even then though, that really does feel underwhelming, so. But I really don't know if I can probably do that later on though, especially for myself included, or in this case on my own time, but we'll see what happens there, so. But anyways though, with the actual Fire Flower in this particular level, that... You gotta be kidding me. I just always get knocked back by any kind of enemy around all over me, which either way, that's not that great start to begin with, but at least we can able to hopefully make our way there. Until just in case the actual Fire Flower power-up limitations doesn't run out completely. So come on, last fireball. Oh, nice. And before we continue on though, on the other hand though, we'll grab the live stream as promised. And sure enough, we can able to go up to the stairs as normally. And then there we go, now we can able to proceed. Even though I could have appreciated if I was trying to go for a shortcut method, but it doesn't seem to work on me sometimes. But either way, that's only because sometimes the camera seems to able to still recognize as the forms of like, if you ever try to think about make your way there, but sometimes my camera control, the actual automatic control camera can sometimes go all over the place sometimes, but nothing too much of a problematic, it's just that it's my fault for able to actually just have made several mistakes in hand, so. Anyways though, you're gonna be spending most of your time trying to able to use the Fire Flower most likely, just like the ones in, you know, the secret mission in the forms of conquering the summons, except, well, obviously we're gonna be traversing through, oh, you're gonna be kidding me, they're not gonna let me get onto that slanted, moving cylinder platform. Oh, Jesus Christ, I'm having really bad luck for this point today, because no matter what though, I'm guessing this is most likely because of how the fact that, well, I'm still a little bit rusty once again, especially by the noticeable by the forms of new Nintendo-related items here and there, which I must admit though, for this point, folks, it has been gone far too long when it comes to like impatience with the new Nintendo Direct is about to be revealed. I'm really sorry about this point, folks, because either way though, I'm just being so impatient sometimes, especially because of how the fact that we need to know of what's gonna coming up in during the likes of this year specifically. Well, I've already know that, you know, Yoshi's Crafted World should be on its way until next month. In addition, with Kirby's Extra Epic Yarn, will be also be on its way until next month as well. So, not long now for this point. And, I still have surely unsure of is the fact that whenever if the 3DS's life is about to be ended and they decide to move on to the Nintendo Switch for now. But then again, it's currently unknown at the moment. Well, at least to be more specifically, when it comes to like some more of those 3DS stuff has been announced, like Persona Q2 will be on its way on the 3DS. So who knows? We'll actually find out until at some point or another. So. Anyway, so let's head back to Freeze Flame Galaxy for the 5th time in a row and do the next mission, which is Hot and Cold Collide. So in this case, we have to deal with both Fire and Ice. In this case, not to be confused, as the forms of the actual Fire and Ice level name in the forms of New Super Mario Bros. U, or in this case, to be more accurately, the New Super Luigi U game, just because of how the fact that in one of the levels in Frosty Glacier, in the 3rd level, that level is actually called Fire and Ice. But, and also not to be confused, as the forms of the actual game title of Sonic Boom Fire and Ice for the Nintendo 3DS. So, because, you know, it has a lot of elements of Fire and Ice all of a sudden. So, yeah, at least as far as I can usually say about this for the most part. So from here, we need to light those little lanterns once again, just like the ones how it does it from before. But here's the thing though, is the fact that we need to traverse from either the ice portion of this particular planet right there, or in this case for that specific section, towards the forms of that specific fire section. So even then though, that's what the actual collide starts to come in. So even then, naturally, you know, fire, you know, melts ice, and especially noticeable that, I would say water will be extinguish the actual fire, and I believe ice can able to actually freeze up the water. So even then, just because, you know, if you ever noticed by this point, if you ever played Luigi's Mansion for the Nintendo 3DS and the Nintendo GameCube, with the forms of that little similar fashion of how it does it for the rock, paper, scissors, or even that the rock, paper, scissors type of syndrome from Kingdom Hearts Union Cross. But either way though, that's besides the point. So, anyway, so let's go ahead and grab that extra life right there, in case if we actually did manage to collect some more of those extra lives later on. But then again, if you're able to restart the game, or in this case reset the game, even turn it off the game or turn it back on again, it might still able to reset your lives count. So even then, don't expect things too much. So, anyways though, I do apologize also, is the fact that my throat itself is actually got a little bit more dried up than it used to be, just because of how the fact that I was, you know, still being busy all of a sudden, including going back into Kingdom Hearts 3, so that I've managed to able to beat the, well, I haven't beat the actual main game first, but either way though, I'm still getting quite close towards the end. But I'm slowly getting there, just because of how the fact that, well, I need to able to get back into any recording sessions. Like, for instance, I need to get back into this game in particular, and especially noticeable how the fact that we need to able to do the rest of the uploading recording sessions for the majority of the forms of every single day. Well, it might be not all the time though, just like the ones and how it does in 2018, because I know for the fact that we haven't exactly gone through all days when it comes to uploading schedules in mind, just because of how the fact that, well, some technical difficulties here and there, and especially just concentrate on something completely else different. But either way though, that's besides the point. So, and I believe we're actually going to be coming across into, is that the exact same platforming obstacles as of how it does it from that Cosmic Mario race? It appears to be more accurately, it might actually be will-based. Except the noticeable differences this time around though is the fact that, well, obviously for one noticeable thing, there's no race. And second of all is the fact that the icicle platforms, including the fire platforms here and there as well, decides to now move. See, even then though, that's the only thing you need to be able to be cautious about, and especially noticeable that this particular section right there is entirely influenced with the forms of the Ice Flower ability. So even then, you have to make your way fast before you don't get your, you know, your butt burned or anything like that. And whoa, that was a very lucky, you know, finish right there, especially because I didn't get burned after all, if my Ice Flower has been like, have been completely done. So yeah, that's interesting. But I thank you for able to actually give me a little bit of a more of a chance to survive for this point. So, anyways though, so we are pretty much done with Freeze Flame Galaxy for now, and we're about to be moving on to the next level. See, Fernando, let's go from the very bottom right there that says 29 power stars to able to unlock it. And this actually leads us to the Dusty Dawn Galaxy. So even then, we can able to actually just come across into a desert environment. So, soaring on the desert winds. Because I believe we get to do it with a lot of winds going on. So even then though, that's as far as I can get when it comes to this particular mission's description for it. There's something I just want to mention about this also is the fact that, not to mention that Duffy has mentioned about this before in the forms of in Yoshi's Woolly World's Let's Play so far, that we no longer gonna have the forms of Fire Emblem Warriors for the Nintendo Switch just because, well, I just feel like, well, I'm not exactly a huge fan of the forms of the Fire Emblem series in general, just because, well, I just don't know about you, but I'm guessing because of how the fact that the only time I was familiar with the, the Fire Emblem series is of course by the forms of the Super Smash Bros. Character roster. And, also we can no longer have the forms of Lego Harry Potter collection just because I just feel like wasting all of my memory storage block usage when it comes to the forms of my or our PlayStation 4 at the moment. I think I should probably save up for something else, most notably by the forms of obviously Crash Team Racing Nitro Field, and especially notable with Team Sonic Racing. Speaking of Crash Team Racing Nitro Field, recently they did manage able to release some of those video clips recently, but the fact of the matter is that I believe they did show off some of the tracks from the original Crash Team Racing, but now they brought into HD look. So even then though, that I will say though, is that it looks very, very impressive, especially although it still runs at 30 frames per second, just like the ones in Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. But I'm guessing it makes it purely obvious just because, just want to make the actual frame rate a little bit more simple and inevitable be. And of course we got ourselves a fire flower for this particular mission, but all he gets from here is just basically just, chuck all kinds of fireballs right at those piranha plants. So that's all I could really go for this point. So, speaking of the piranha plant, I forgot to mention about this actually, is the fact that finally, that we've now actually got something new when it comes to the piranha plants releasing on, when it comes to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate DLC. So that way, we can now finally purchase the actual singular character, but keep that in mind that he does not even join in with the forms of the Fighters Pass. He was just there for the sake of this singular character pack, so yeah, you get the idea. What the hell? Ledge! What are you doing? Oh, really? Ugh. I just keep on slipping off the edge, and thanks a lot. Anyways, though, yeah, aside from that, I believe it doesn't cost that much when it comes to that one particular character so far, which is the Piranha Plant, obviously. And I believe it cost about, in the UK price, it was actually like £4.49. Which is not bad, but even then, I've already got that for the sake of the forms of the My Nintendo Rewards for about, I would say better late than never, just because I'm still really into the forms of Kingdom Hearts 3 recently, which I still really enjoy the game pretty much. So naturally, I can able to actually still get back onto it, if only if the new Nintendo Directs will be up or something like that. So even then though, well, it all depends though, really. I'm not being too harsh about it though, it's just the fact that I just can't help it for myself or how the fact that it took way too far long than in forms of how it does it in last year. See, Fernando, because in last year, at least we got the Direct Mini to say that much for that point. But apart from that, though, it just only just briefly showcased some small information about the forms of several upcoming Nintendo Switch titles back in during the likes of in 2018, and you know the rest. So, yeah, that's as far as I can go. See, Fernando, let's just go ahead and grab the next Power Star after smashing for that crystal for about, twice. And there we go. We are essentially done with this mission. So, yeah, in addition to with those two games we have no longer have, which is obviously Fire Emblem Warriors for the Switch, and especially notable with Lego Harry Potter Collection for the PlayStation 4, but we also managed to able to actually no longer have the forms of the Angry Birds trilogy for the Xbox 360, because I don't know, I'm not exactly a huge Angry Birds fanatic, to be honest, because either way though, I'm not exactly, when it comes to skillful, when it comes to the forms of the Angry Birds games entirely, I did try them slightly on my iPhone, but but to be honest, I don't normally keen on it too much, even though it's just a little bit more simplistic than ever will be to me. But as far as I've heard, that the Angry Birds series will become 10 years old at this point, especially how the fact that, well, actually, did they already done that before, or maybe it's something to do with later on? I don't know. So anyways though, in this mission right there, as you can see, we're going back into Dusty Dawn Galaxy. And the mission we're going to be doing next is, of course, the Blasting Through the Sand mission. See, even then, I believe that this mission actually contains a secret power star, so I believe we need to grab more of those star bits as much as we can, so hopefully we'll get enough. So, and I believe that, yeah, after killing that red pokey right there, which even then though sometimes you'll run off like nothing else every once in a while, but either way though, it's not that much noticeable, I don't think. So there's the Hungry Luma right down there, but of course we'll be back for him later because, well, we still got enough of those star bits. I'm guessing he do needs is 20 star bits. See, even then though, not by much in comparison to the forms of the previous missions from before. So a little bit odd right there, but hey. Anyways though, let's go down here to get the Rainbow Star to able to farm a lot more of those star bits as much as we can, and hoping everything else will come together. So, and the fourth and the final game we no longer have, and it's the forms of Dragon Ball Z Burst Limit for the 360. I know for the fact that I would say though, to me though, is the fact that the PlayStation 3, even the entirety of the PlayStation series in general, is actually very good when it comes to 2D fighting games and all that stuff because of the directional pattern here and there. But to me though, I just feel like that burst limit is actually pretty awkward to control with the analog stick sometimes. I'm guessing because of how the fact that I was really into the forms of the actual 2D fighting games recently on the PlayStation series department. Like for instance, for example, I managed to play myself, you know, Mortal Kombat for the PlayStation Vita. And that did works quite well with the forms of the directional pad and everything when it comes to the actual, like, you know, the actual PlayStation Vita system, and even by the forms of the PlayStation standards. So, I don't know about you, but I'm guessing because of how the fact that I seem to able to downgrade some of my games collection at this point with the 360 stuff. That's only because of how the fact that I was really into the forms of the actual other systems here and there. Well, I'm still enjoying the 360, don't get me wrong, but especially by the forms of the excellent titles here and there, like Sonic Generations, and especially with the HD port of Banjo-Kazooie and especially Banjo-Tooie, and I still enjoy those to this day. But for whatever reason, I just stopped collecting those 360 stuff nowadays. I'm guessing because of how the fact that I'm pretty much sorted for now when it comes to Microsoft at the moment, because although there's only one exception, which I'm not going to be, you know, not to be considered getting, which is of course the Xbox One, which even then though, because I still find it a tad bit more pricey, and plus I still find it as a really dumb name. Speaking of such, I heard from some rumors during the likes of it 2020 at some point. They might actually reveal the sequels to both the PlayStation and the Microsoft's Xbox, which I'm assuming that for PlayStation it might actually call it PlayStation 5, and for Microsoft Xbox it'll just call it Xbox 2. And I was like, really? That's the only name you can think of? How about something more related to like Xbox 4K? But I don't know about that name will mix it up for it. So anyways, I'll explain more details onto that in the next video, because if you can tell for this point, this video is going to be significantly shorter than the previous parts, because obviously I just need to get these domes done before the forms of the next video is about to be up. So anyways though, so in this mission right there, just collect 5 silver stars, and that's about it. So the hidden mission on this particular mission is of course Treasure of the Pyramid. So as you can see, we got ourselves the green star. So I believe this might actually be the third and the final green star in the game. So this is what happens if you collect all 3 of them. You've managed to recover all of the green power stars and restore the green launch star. And this will actually unlock 3 more galaxies, which I'll save that for later. Even I don't know what's waiting for you out there beyond the green launch star. But of course it's obvious by the forms of these next few galaxies to able to explore, but then again I'll save those in a later time for this particular game so far. So in this case we got the endings off at this point right there, I'm afraid guys. I know again it's a little bit short, But again, because I need to able to save up for finishing the Dawn until the next video. So join me next time when Let's Play Super Mario Galaxy. Is the fact that we're going to be heading back into the forms of the bedroom Dawn and deal with the rest of the mission. So see you guys next time. Later, fellas.